Hello everyone and welcome to another Kev Play. This is Kevin and we are on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater Tony Hawk's Pro Skater Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 plus 4 Part 2. So let's see, do we have a I was trying to listen to see if there was because I have the streamer mode on and it's still I don't really hear it. I hear it very, very faintly. So, whatever, this stream is a reflection of Iron Galaxy's work with this game. If they don't have this up to snuff, then that's on them. So we're going to continue our Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 tour. I don't think actually, you know what? I don't think I added the 3 stats from the Suburbia level. So we'll do that. And I think what we want is speed, air, and I guess ollie. Okay. So we'll run with that. And then maybe after this, towards the end of this, we'll try to see if we can go back to Canada and get that goal done. In the meantime, oh, looks like we got some new boards here. Still no music. Yeah, I was just trying to test it. It is what it is. I can hear it. I can hear it very faintly on the broadcast, very faintly, but like you'd have to like I'd have to stop talking for you to even hear it. But like it's very faint. I think it's just an issue with Iron Galaxy that they just didn't get it done properly. I was trying to like look up on like Reddit or Google to see if anyone else had this problem, but I don't know. No one's really asking the right questions. I like this board that we got here. So I added 3 more stats because I never did that on Suburbia. And now we'll continue our Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3. We're going to go right to airport. This is one of my favorite levels. And they remade it during like the Underground games. I forget if it was Underground. I think it was Underground 2. Which was cool. But yeah, this is like I love this level. It's just designed very well. And
nice flight. Hey, wait, your tickets.
Time to go to work.
Harkens back to kind of like the first games, like the Downhill Jam, where it's kind of like a one linear direction, and then you can reverse. Once you get to the bottom, you can kind of like reverse and start back up at the top if you go through like a certain door or whatever. I think, yeah, Downhill Jam and the Mall from Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 did that. So here we are.
Go catch them!
We got these tickets. We have to get to the passengers without bailing. We also have to combo from start to finish. This is like one of my favorite combo lines here. Which I didn't do exactly right, but it's alright. I'll get it again. And here's the pass.
We made it. Where are my peanuts?
I'm going to, I don't know why, but the sound on, what is it? The music levels, for me, even though you don't hear it, is a little loud. And I guess we'll leave it like that, okay. We gotta grind these flags off. Yeah, I'm wearing headphones. I always wear headphones because I like to know what the feedback is. But it's weird, like I hear the music on my headphones, but obviously on the broadcast it's not there. I think it's just an issue with our galaxies. They screwed up something with the streamer mode. There we go. This is a level I can get out of the way real quick. But I love this level. Secret tape right over here. Nope. We just need a T right here for the skate.
I know people.
Chicago has moved back to gate 05. Please do not go to gate 15.
Okay. Might have to lower the sound effects too. I don't know why it's just very loud for me. I figured this episode will talk about... I'll run through my games I've played this year, and I'll decide on my game of the year. So we'll do that. Other than that, I just want to say that there's something going around with Spyro. You said right, it's that time. There's something with Spyro right now. There was like a developer on LinkedIn that like mistakenly like basically just said that they've been working on a new Spyro game. Like one of the developers from Toys for Bob, like some employee from Toys for Bob on LinkedIn kind of like spilled the beans, and now there's like a Canadian Guy A video going around about it. Something we all knew was in development, but it's just kind of like it's nice to know that there's kind of that reality's starting to set in, that it is a real thing. So, oh yeah, they accidentally said they are working on Spyro 4, which is, you know, that's the kind of leak I like, where it's just like, you know, oh, someone mentioned that they were working on it. I wouldn't want to have a leak where we have like the whole game leaked, and then everyone knows what it is, you know, like Wolverine or like the Insomniac leak. Like, I'll take a little leak, you know, where it's just like, oh, it exists. Let's try to combo from start to finish again.
Ow!
You see, I've seen this happen too many times. I don't know if there's more to that text. Hold on. Just gotta get to this ramp right here, and we comboed from start to finish. Beautiful. While we're here, let's stop the pickpockets.
Out of the way!
Got you. Nope. There's also a thing we can do where we can, I think 540 transfer? Yeah, 540 shove it over the gate. Let's try to do that. Damn it. I keep forgetting that my stats are like not up to my normal, but I'll get used to that quick. Right here. Oh. Nope.
Flight 022 to Chicago. Please ignore the previous announcement. Boarding for Flight 026 will be at gate 15.
But yeah, I mean, I guess I'll start with the one game that by the way, you said I've seen this happen too many times. You said I'm glad it's happening. I'll be honest, I haven't been really playing games that released this year, but I do have one. Interesting, yeah. You know, sometimes that's how it works, you know? It becomes more of a backlog thing, or maybe you're just playing the one game that you really are just having fun with.
Okay, so move aside,
The
please.
driver of a white sedan.
Feet don't
We got some pickpockets here. Oh, but running out of time already.
Move it or lose it.
There should be another guy around here. Oh, there he goes.
I need to get these bags. Move it!
I didn't do it.
Let's see if I can get 2 more guys. They should be right around here.
Moving you along.
Hey, skater.
Oh, I couldn't
nice
do it.
kicks.
Combo from start to finish. But yeah, okay, so yeah, it's just been backlog for me. Awesome. That's cool, you know. Like one of the games I did platinum this year was a backlog game. That was a Jack X Combat Racing, which is, you know, goes all the way back to 2005. But yeah, in terms of games this year, I guess I'll start off with what aren't really eligible for my game of the years, but I'm going to talk about them anyway because it's just like, you know, how can I not? Because they really are like for instance, this game, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3+4, is my most played game this year. I've been playing, like, when I had that end of year wrap up, this is the most hours I've been putting into the game. Just because I've had to grind for that platinum, no pun intended. But remakes aren't really eligible in terms of game of the year. You obviously has to have a certain level of like originality and impact for that year for, you know, a new game, whereas this is just a fan favorite collection of games that have been remastered or remade. Let's try to get these guys. But I love this game. I think out of the remakes that we've had, though, I think this game leaves some to be desired, and it's also kind of a weird game in that...
Watch it.
Oh, got it. In that it's not an actual remake of like, the 4th game. There's a lot of, like, artistic liberties that were taken to, like, you know, bring this type of game into the modern era, you know, a little bit of censorship going on. You know, it's nothing you didn't see with like Crash or Spyro, but like, it's just a little, I don't know, off-putting. I still think the definitive way to play these games are the originals from PS2. Like, they still hold up good. This just looks prettier. You know, the graphics look shinier, but the feeling of and of course they nailed Tony Hawk, of how it's supposed to feel, and that's a good thing. And to be playing Tony Hawk in 2025, you know, even back in 2020 it was great, but 2025, being able to play online, now that they added voice chat also, which is good. The original games never had voice chat online, it was more of text chat.
Did I forget me mobile?
I do miss the text chat era, but
Something happened to me.
let me go down here. I was gonna say, but this is a great game. You know, it's keeping me busy. It feels fun to play. Like, Tony Hawk still stands the test of time as a really one of the greats. I think I need a crooked grind around this baggage claim. Let's see. No, I guess not. I mean, I guess what else can I say? It's really, like, I think this game's great, but I do think there is some, you know, obviously Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4 is not Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4 in this remake. It's a completely different version. You know, you're playing it in a different lens, and we'll get to that when we get to that part of the game. But that is disappointing to me. I'm also kind of disappointed that there hasn't been like updates from Iron Galaxy at any point. I feel like, you know, even 1+2, it felt, you know, they gave us some updates. They gave us like Crash Bandicoot apparel. This game, I don't know if they're holding out on like some like a new release, maybe Spyro if it ever comes out. But like, but even without that, like without cross promotion, I'm surprised that they haven't like done more with like, you know, the skate shop or anything. Like, everything's all, there's no microtransactions. which is good. But I'm surprised that they didn't take advantage of that, especially since it's Activision, just to kind of breathe some life into the game. Because right now, I have, as it stands, like close to $500,000 after having cleaned out the skate shop entirely, getting all the helmets and skateboards and shirts and pants and socks and shoes, uh, and all the secrets. I have so much stuff. Yeah, there is like a pit stop, and you unlock it as you go. But it's not like the Grand Prix pit stop where you had like limited time. You have all the time in the world to collect everything. But if you're a guy like me who's been, especially since the game demands for the platinum that you must beat the game 30 times with each skater, 100% of each solo tour. So you think you would have at least made the economy of the game feel, I don't know, put more content in there to for me to purchase, or at least make things more expensive that I didn't collect everything by now. Um, the only things that I'm still collecting at this point are things that need to actually be unlocked, not purchased. Like, by actually like doing like goals, or through merit. But which is okay. But I have to say, like the original Tony Pro Skater 3, every time you beat the career with a new skater, you got something awesome. You either got a really cool secret character, a secret map, a secret cheat code. Um, it was always something like it's like the PS2 games knew that you had all the time in the world, and they knew that they can only that there weren't going to be any patches, so they designed those games to play as if you will discover things long after you've beat the game the first time. Like there's always going to be things to unlock. Whereas the things you unlock in this game, it's just more boards, more skateboards, more kind of like different skins of your skater, but kind of like how Crash Team Racing's Nitro Fueled got kind of like wacky towards the end, where it was just like an old gold version of Crash, or an old silver version, or like uh, a gummy bear version or something. It's like you think of like the inverted levels, or like the skins you would get in Crash 4. Like it feels like that's the spirit that they do with these with like the, I guess, the different apparel and stuff. And it gets a little kind of, I don't know, annoying. Again, these are little nitpicks, but it's just like, for me, the remakes, in terms of its replayability, I'd rather be replaying the PS2 versions than this. But I'm still gonna go for that platinum, of course. What am I looking for? Double heel flip the Mullen Gap. I guess I didn't get these passports. I also want to set off this helicopter.
Mr. K, this is Spinning D. We got a skater on the blades. I'm taking this bird to the sky.
How long do I got on that platinum? I've been playing with other skaters, so I think I still have to, obviously, I have to complete Zion Wright, who we're playing as, his solo tour. I think I also have like one more person to do with Tyshawn Jones, and then I have to do like other things, like collect every gap, I think, which shouldn't be that hard. I've been doing it, but it gets to the point where like it becomes very hard to know where every gap is, to the point where it's like that might be something I might look up towards the end, and then it's just like okay, there's the gap, I just have to like complete it. I feel like the rest of the trophies that I have, which are very few, it's gonna be like spring cleaning, just like clean it all up, things that I might have like missed or whatever.
We will tow your car and send you the parts in a box.
Got some cash here. Did I get? I wish I knew how much. collect these passports. I got 3. Oh, there's another one over here. Oh, okay, okay, I know where they are. But yeah, Tony Hawk's been fun. It's a dream game that I wanted remade. But I'm kind of sick of it at this point. Not sick of, like, I'm still having fun playing it, but I'm sick of, like, the grind. I just kind of want to, like, be done with it. But overall, this is one of the top-notch games of all time, to me, for me. Even if it may not seem like it. I guess I gotta do the double heel flip the Mulin gap right here. And that's it, right? Oh, platinum score, 700,000. Let's do it. Not good enough. Other than that, I'd say the other remake that I played this year was Gears of War Reloaded. Obviously, this was a huge novelty for me because I played Gears of War, that first Gears of War game, like when it came out at a friend's house, and we played the co-op. I don't remember if we ever beat the co-op, but I do remember we played a lot of it, and I can imagine back then that we had the time to do it. But being able, you said, oh right, Gears. Gears of War Reloaded was a lot of fun. I played hard mode after beating it the first time, and I'm on literally the last boss, which is like literally all, and I would get like the trophy for beating it on hard mode, but I still have trouble with that one. I don't think I'll ever get the platinum trophy though, because it requires you to like get like, basically you have to like spend your entire life playing the multiplayer, and I just don't have it in me to do that. You know, I've done that with games like Killzone Shadowfall or Killzone 3, where I platinum the game through like a very arduous grind of a multiplayer experience. But I just, at this point in my life, I just can't be doing it. Especially since it's not that easy to get into the multiplayer, because a lot of the people who are playing online are like seasoned veterans who know the map upside down. They know where all the weapon placements are, because all the weapons, you have to like find them on the map. And also it's like a 4v4, one kill or one life each for every person. So it's very hard to rack up. I think there's like a trophy where I have to get like 10,000 kills, and I barely was able to get one in like a 2-hour session. Obviously I have to get good, but beyond that, I know I've done the huge long multiplayer grinds before in games for achievements, and I just know that life is like long behind me at this point. But Gears of War like Reloaded is great, I'm looking forward to any sequels that they are gonna do. I'll definitely pick them up. It's definitely a nostalgic game. Definitely harkens back to like the boomer shooter era that I grew up with. Being a third-person version. Awesome game that came out before Uncharted existed. I think a year before. So it kind of, like the cover shooter aspect to it. You could see a lot of like it's doing a lot of things right for a game that came out before like Uncharted exploded in that genre. You know, being a year before, obviously very gory and everything, but the game rocks, and I love that it has co-op, and that the remake offers co-op for not just online but couch co-op. That's awesome. I haven't had a chance to do that yet. Oh, we still have to get 2 wads of cash. So I'll do that. You said, who would have thought this game would be on PlayStation someday? And that's the thing too. It's on PlayStation. It's just like how not only like it checks off the list because there's a lot of Xbox games coming to PlayStation, and I can be like, oh, this is the novelty. Let's just grab them all. But for me, it's like it has to be right. Like just like when Microsoft bought Activision, it has to be. I'm not a fan of inorganic acquisitions. I'm not just going to get an Xbox game just because it's on PlayStation. It has to make sense, and Gears of War just makes sense. It's a game that I have history with. I have a lot of nostalgia for, and it's a game that's right up my alley in genre. So how can I not? There's one more. Oh, there's one more piece of cash that's down at the end here. Other than that, what do you say? You said now technically, this game is Gears of War Ultimate Edition. Right, because that came out like a little before Reloaded, right? It was kind of like the remake for. And I think I remember Xbox people were kind of like, they were down on that because it's like they already have the Ultimate Edition. This is just like a reskinned remake that's just being geared towards PlayStation. So for me, it's great, but for Xbox guys, it's just another kind of like rehash of what they've already pretty much gotten, it seems, which is, that's unfortunate. So I'm looking forward to that Halo remake. That's going to be a big game for me next year, without a doubt. Now, Halo is the franchise that's like, that's the franchise that I probably care the most about in terms of coming from Xbox. Where is that other piece of cash? I think it's over here, but could be wrong. Oh, I think I know where it is. Is it over here? No. No, I don't think it's up there. But Gears of War is good. Definitely a hard game on hard mode, I have to say, especially playing with yourself, because I think the game on hard mode is designed for the co-op. I think I would have a better chance beating it on hard mode if I had a co-op partner with me. Where is this? Oh, it's down here, right? Is it not? Sorry. I think it's down here.
Flight 212 to Orlando is departing in 25 minutes from gate 11.
Let's see more. There must be like, oh, it's right here. Here. Damn it, missed it. Let's see if I can come back for it.
Flight 222
Damn it, missed it. Let's try it again real quick. Yeah, Gears of War is good. But the next three games are kind of the three eligible games for my Game of the Year. Totally. Well, all sequels. But really awesome. All three of them. I think the one I'd say, Isai, I wonder what they are. It's pretty easy to guess. What am I doing? I'm going for this cash. Yeah, I guess I'll just start with the one that we played recently. That's Ghost of Yotei, which is we can end the run here, by the way. It's obviously it's a sequel to Ghost of Tsushima that came out in 2020. But Ghost of Yotei is a completely different, it's not following Jin Sakai. It goes like 200 or so years in the future, I believe, right? Playing as Atsu. It's a revenge story, which is actually very, you think a revenge game would be, after playing The Last of Us Part 2, that it's like, oh, another revenge story. But I like this revenge story. It's definitely different. It's still hitting the themes of like what you would expect from a revenge story, but there's something very satisfying about it and cathartic about it too, and thoughtful. Ghost of Yotei is great. I love that it's taking place in a completely different environment, around Mount Yotei. I love that it's 200 years into the future, so more advanced warfare is being used. Like, gunpowder is a thing now. Obviously, explosives were always kind of a thing, but it's becoming more prominent. Obviously, I like that this game is less about, Jin trying to weave that road or like walk that line between honor and dishonor, with being a samurai versus being a ghost. As he learns that he has to improvise with his code, in order to overcome the Mongols invading and everything. Whereas this game, it's not about honor versus dishonor. It's more just about revenge. And I think it's very well done. I think the story was very touching. A lot of twists and turns to it that really kept it interesting throughout. You said, oh right, I forgot about Ghost. It's very similar to Sly Cooper 1. It definitely has some Sly Cooper lineage that shows in the game. A lot of that Sucker Punch, a lot of what Sucker Punch came up with. You could feel it in this game, especially with the stealth and all that. Yeah, that game is great. You said, and I love what they did with the weapons. The weapons too, yeah, because like in Ghost of Tsushima, you had like different stances for your like sword attack, for like how you approach your sword combat. Whereas this game, because you're being introduced to new weapons, they did away with the stances and they just they give you the skill trees for the weapons, which was awesome. And the weapons were awesome, by the way. Like, drink some water here. But yeah, it's a story that I went into it. Well, one thing I gotta say, I don't know if I mentioned this. I love that with the PS5, ever since like the PS5 became a thing with like the solid state drive, and how fast things can load. I love like Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart was one of those games that like introduce kind of like the traveling between different worlds in like an instant. Spider-Man also kind of did that with Spider-Man 2 with like the going into different being able to fast travel around the world in an instant for all these games are great. But I remember there was like a sequence with Spider-Man where you're playing with like the cat, what's her name? The cat girl or whatever her name is, and it opens like portals to different areas, and like you at one point you're in like an Antarctica setting, but it goes quick, and it's that taking advantage of that solid state drive. What I liked about Ghost of Yotei, no, not Rivet. I'm talking about Spider-Man, not the cat. No, I know Rivet. I'm talking about the cat woman in Spider-Man. I forgot her name. But basically, what I love what they do with that solid state drive in Ghost of Yotei is they use it for a story mechanic where you can go back in time to your child self versus your adult self, and you Black Cat, right? I knew you knew it. But I like that they use that as a narrative, as kind of a cool way to like tell the story, where you can like at will, like if you go back to your like family home, you can like switch between your child self and your your current self, And then there were little missions around the world that did that too, and it helped tell the story. And that's something that you couldn't get on PS4 in telling the story that way, which I thought was cool. And they did it very sparingly too. They didn't rely on it as a gimmick. They did it when it was necessary, which I appreciated. Okay, so here's a competition again. The best 2 heats count. Bails deduct points. Skaters get 3 heats. So, and our platinum goal. We have to do.
I cannot wait for this incredible contest to begin.
Before I continue talking about Ghost of Yotei, I want to mention this level because this is a level that they changed a bit, which is very interesting. The platinum goal, by the way, is Yar made a lip trick near the pirate. Okay, you said yeah, that was really cool regarding the time travel aspect of the narrative. I'm not very good at parrying, but I had to learn it. Yeah, that was something I had to learn too, and I ended up using what did I end up using? I ended up using some like charms that would help me with my parrying better, like allowing me a little bit more time to get the parry to work, and so forth. I remember there were some charms that were very useful. By the way, I collected all the charms. I don't think you needed to collect all the charms in the game, but I managed to do that by doing like the skill challenge or like the combat challenges that they ask of you. So that was a lot of fun. The story is great in Ghost of Yotei. I enjoyed it. I do think there is a little bit of a flaw that I wish they kind of addressed, in which one of the significant characters that's in the game with you towards the end, they are basically challenging your morality or your choices throughout the game. And talking, and it lends itself into how revenge is bad and whatnot. But what's interesting is that character that was kind of hounding you about that ends up kind of falling victim to kind of like a revenge fantasy of their own. And I've mentioned this in a past episode on Crash 4 our Crash 4 playthrough, but they mentioned something that kind of shoots themselves in the foot and ends up putting a lot of people, or someone very important, in danger. No, there wasn't a morality system. I don't think that was ever a thing. That's not what I'm saying. But basically, this character did something, said something to the main villain that was a major clue for the villain for the villain to find out where a certain loved one was. And the game never addresses that was kind of on him or her. I don't want to spoil things, obviously. I know you've played the game in full. But I just thought that was a wasted opportunity. I thought it would actually have been more interesting if they addressed that, and that it wasn't just Atsu that was that had to be aware of her actions or choices or or whatnot, and that it extends to everybody, And you said you didn't even bother with the charms and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I found it fun. And I remember doing it in Ghost of Tsushima too. Before I continue talking about Ghost of Yotei, though, I want to I want to show you this level. This level here is, in the original game, it's completely indoors, and there's an outside part to the level, and in order to get to the outside part, you need to do something like a secret thing in order to unlock the outside area. In this version, they open the outside area for you already without you having to unlock anything, which is weird. So in this, we have to do... It's a competition, so we just have to score... Get a good score in 3 heats. But basically what we have to do here is there's 3 flags here, or 2 flags. One's an American flag, and another is a pirate flag. And I remember playing the original game, and I was wondering, because there were certain collectibles in the game, and I was like, where are these collectibles? I don't know where they are. I'm looking all over the place, you know, and the place is so small too. Like you're in this small outdoor area or small indoor area. But it wasn't until like I was tooling around and I saw this flag that I decided to. I was like, this kind of rings a bell. Let me like try doing this. And it was called Skull and Bones, and you did that, and you just heard kind of like a pirate laugh just now. I don't know if you heard it, but when you did that, it opened these two doors over here. So in this next heat, I'm going to go outside. I'm going to show you what's here. Now the thing is, so I just did that just to like kind of like make it seem like we were doing it from the original game. So now these doors blew open right here that you see right here. These two ones. And now you're able to go outside, but in this version, they open the doors from the beginning. And basically, there's a pirate ship here that blew the doors open, and you can do things too, like this, and like fire back at the pirate ship. There's cool things here too, like there's like skeletons reaching off from the ground and stuff like that. Just want to show this off a bit, but one thing they added in this game that's completely new is there's a secret Easter egg that I think you'll appreciate. But before I do that, let me go on this pirate ship. I have to lip trick on this thing right here, which I just messed up, but hold on. Because there's a pirate right here. Now I'll get this combo in. Alright, it looks like I'm gonna have to do a crazy amount of points in order to do this, but let's try it. I'll show you the Easter egg towards the end. Let's hope for the best here. By the way, I am a little under the weather. It's that time of year. You said, yeah, it's that season. It's like hard for me to talk because like I have like a itch in the back of my throat. I forgot that I could add my stats from the airport level. So we'll do that afterwards. That should be a 99.9 right across the board. It looks like I didn't do it. That's fine because I still have to show you something anyway.
The level of competition today is unreal. Let's see what the next skater can do.
I guess I'll show you now. But basically, this was not in the original game. You could do this, and then it just said several days later. And this is a completely new part of the map. And look what we have here. Krusty Krab, SpongeBob's house, Squidward's house, and Patrick's house. Very random. SpongeBob. Very random, and then they make this huge gorge that you have to jump, but you can't actually get to the other side, unfortunately. But just to show you, oh no, I'm not gonna make it. Yeah, Bikini Bottom, you know. All right, so I'm gonna do really good in these next two heats.
With another run about to begin.
And it's weird too because you think that they would have like gave us like SpongeBob or Squidward or someone as a secret skater, but we got nothing. Just a little SpongeBob reference. I basically should not bail if I want to get like a really good score here. Maybe it's just a tease. Maybe it's a tease for something later, I don't even know. Cool. But yeah, Goseote. Okay, so that's good. We're in first right now.
The talent on display today is on another level.
Goseote was really good. You know, a game I platinumed this year. I think, in terms of, like, the collectathon of the game, I enjoyed it. But I do wish that they, you know, they give you a certain, like, samurai suit you can have in order to... Or a certain charm and a certain suit that can help you find collectibles easier. But there were certain collectibles that were hard, that were not, were basically it became chores towards the end, where you had to, like, you didn't really know where they were. You had to kind of, like, really...
Let's go!
You either had to spend a lot of time looking all over the place, you know, backtracking to where you were. In terms of a collectathon game, I like it when a collectathon game can at least lend itself to where everything is at some, like, to the point where, like, it's clever if you figure out where everything is and not just have to, like, be complete, like, just, like, randomly stumble on things towards the end. Like, there was things towards the end, like the last trophies I needed, where the game just did not tell you where they were. I wish, and that kind of was just like, you know, like, especially when the game was just like kind of dragging at that point. You know, the thing with Goseote though, when they were remaking the sequel, I remember them saying that they were gonna make it the world more fleshed out than Ghost of Tsushima was, and it was more fleshed out. That's true, but I was wondering, like, not that I expect it to be like Red Dead level of like immersiveness and you know, all this stuff going on where like NPCs are going about their day. If you follow them, like, there's different things they're doing. There's so many variables that are happening. Goseote did feel a little formulaic, like, you know, in a good way. Like, it was good, but I was expecting a little bit more of like randomness, and there was randomness, but I just think in terms of an open world game, I was expecting them to kind of like really, I guess, I don't know, make it so that it didn't always feel like you were like, oh, here's the next shrine I have to climb, here's the next fox den or wolf den or whatever, here's the next bamboo strike. Like, I like that type of gameplay, that's good, but I just remember them talking about it in interviews after Tsushima, and I kind of expected a little bit more in terms of just like how they fleshed the world out. I still think it's a beautiful world and everything, but I just feel like, you know, for a game that took 5 years, where they kind of had the mechanics down, because the mechanics were, a lot of it was the same. It was improved, but it was basic. You know, they were using that like core engine and the mechanics and everything, and the physics engine and everything. So I think in terms of all the sequels, these sequel games that I played this year, I think Yote's jump, to me, while significant, was a little bit on the not the, you know, I guess not as much of a jump as compared to the other games I played, I guess I'll say. So in terms of like game of the year, that kind of factors in. So Yote, you know, it's a great game. It resonated with me a lot. But I have to admit, the next two games are like juggernauts to me in terms of like doing everything and more that I expected of it, and blowing me away and being just completely riveting from start to finish in terms of you know, the story being like everything just hitting on all cylinders for me. And these next two games are kind of the games that are like head to head with me. By the way, we did get that platinum medal here. Nice. Now we can go to Los Angeles. You said SpongeBob Bikini Bottom. Yeah, maybe so. And I don't think I have anything else to say about Ghost. Oh yeah, the guide held my hand for that platinum trophy. I mean, I stayed away from the guide for as long as I did, but I think like when I was like missing one last puzzle box that wasn't letting me know where it was, I looked at like, you know, I peeked at a guide or whatever just to find where it was, not to solve it, but just to see where it was. And it really was a random spot that I would have never found, like on a huge open world map. Like I would have never, like I would have, you know, and it would have been so boring to try to like go comb the map trying to look for it if I went about the way you know, I usually go about things. Oh yeah, let's add our stats while we're here. So we just got what did we do? We got 3 stats here and 4 stats here, so we can add 7 stats. Where are we? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I guess 6 and 7. I really want to get my air and speed and ollie and hang time all the way up as much as I can, so I can get that goal out of the way. Because I'm pretty good at, like, you know, the rail and everything, and the manual and lip, even though it is getting hard to balance it. But I can manage. Okay, so that's good. Now we'll go to Los Angeles. So, yes, the next 2 games, these are the ones I really am debating between. And that is... It comes down to Death Stranding 2 on the beach and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. These games were huge sequels compared to their original games. And they, to me, are like masterpieces. You said, oh, interesting. Like, it's so, like, I guess I'll, like, how do I even start? Here's Los Angeles, by the way. Guess I'll start here. I guess I'll start with Death Stranding 2. So we had to start Earthquake here, by the way. Okay. Death Stranding 2... Death Stranding 2, what do I even have to say? Like, it did everything that the first game was a game that I had to come around to after, like, once I got into the post game of Death Stranding 1.
Would have been better to be born a toaster.
Once I got to the post game, I appreciated Death Stranding 1 so much more, and having going for that platinum in Death Stranding 1, it was like a huge...
I have a toy Pomeranian to take care of at home.
Uh-oh. Earthquake.
Your destination is on the right. Traffic ahead.
Death Stranding 1, what was I gonna say? It was very experimental for the time. A game that I came to appreciate later after I had beat the main story. But then I rewatched the story for in anticipation for the second game, and it really like was pretty awesome. In terms of me, it kind of clicking more in terms of what the story is going for. Sorry, I have to use the bathroom real quick. My apologies. I had to blow my. I'm so congested. It was getting hard to talk. But yeah, Death Stranding 1 was a game I came to appreciate later. Death Stranding 2 was a game that it's like now that I have appreciated the first game, the second game just hit so awesomely for me. Guess I'll. What was I gonna say? It's a game that I can't even really explain it because it's a game you kind of have to experience yourself in order to really understand why it's so good. But the story is compelling. It made me laugh. It made me cry. Like in terms of tearing up. I think it did so many more daring things. I love that it takes you to a completely new place compared to the first game, like completely new. It's it's a masterpiece from Hideo Kojima. It's a game too that its soundtrack is one of my favorite soundtracks of the year. Um, uh, the game just becomes so much better. Not only does the game itself of like building bridges and building roads and connecting people together and making deliveries. I know it sounds like so like cumbersome, but there's something very zen and fun about it and rewarding. But what's also great about this game is it's basically, and I've never played Metal Gear Solid 5, but it's basically Metal Gear Solid 5 in on top of this game because the combat is so much more diverse and fun and like bizarre, and you can go about things so in any way you want. You can take on like the enemies in like the most hilarious to most like brutal ways and most clever ways. It's such a sandbox game of like just have fun. Here's some things that you're gonna have fun with. Do with it what you will, and it does it in such a great way. The story is just so philosophical and fantastical, but also very emotional and uh, again resonant. Is the word I would use. It just hits on something that's just so profound, and I can't quite explain it, especially if you haven't played it. But Death Stranding 2 is just a game that just like I don't think I'm ever gonna forget this game at all. I almost want to play it again, which is weird for me to say about like an open world game, or it's not really like it is open world, but it's not like open world in the traditional sense because it's so unique in what you have to do. You said now I know about Death Stranding because it's delivery simulator. How does a game like this bang so much? It's you know what it is like. You have like delivery simulators. You have games like Mud Runner and Snow Runner where they are like trucking simulators where you have to like make deliveries. That would be fun, and those games actually get really good reviews. But
Turn left.
by the way, we have to stop this car chase, and there is some censorship going on with this car chase, so I'll explain it later.
What you got?
But what was I gonna say?
Let's see your trick.
I think what makes this game so great is that it takes what's great about the delivery, the rewardiness of the delivery simulator, and like the walking simulator of it. But it also brings like meaning and fun to it in very unconventional ways that makes it. I guess it makes it. I don't know how to explain it, but it just like the gameplay loop is just so it's so unique and I guess just fun. Like I can't really explain, it's something you'd have to actually like have to control and play to see why it works. But
Lich, not cool.
hold on, I'm forgetting where I am. Bro, I might have to play this game someday. I honestly like Death Stranding 1 and 2, both masterpieces in their own rights. And even Death Stranding 1 got better when they added the director's cut and there was more features added. So I would like recommend playing the director's cut if you play the first game. But it's just such a like, oh my god. And the story in the second game too, it does something that's so daring, but not in a way that it's so daring, like literally to me on the level of The Last of Us Part 2, but also different to the point where
Hollywood
I guess
sign should be around here.
to the point where like I could see a lot of people not having. It's like daring without the controversy, I guess. But also still very daring in what it's doing. Let's try to get these seagulls. I think the last one is just I have to go over here. Let's hope I can do it. Beautiful. Scatter those seagulls. Let's try to get that high score. Is it a long game? For me to platinum it was sort of long. But if you're just mainlining it, which you can do, and you'll have the same satisfaction of the game, it's not like terribly long. It's not terribly short. It's definitely a meaty game, but it's a game that you would be able to complete if you're just mainlining it, I think. Let's keep it going. Now, it's just like I'm trying to think. Okay, so what I'm gonna say is before I talk, there's a car chase happening with the police cars and this car here that you'll see in the distance here. In the original game, it's a bunch of it's like a gang in a car, and they're shooting machine guns out the window. and you have to stop the car chase. And in order to do that, you need to save this person here who's hanging from the...
Up here! Please! Get me out of here!
And then, basically when you do this, you stop the car chase.
No!
In this version, though, they made it a driverless car. No guns. Daisy is a reference to the first song sung by AI in the late 1960s. Which, if you saw 2001: A Space Odyssey, you would know that scene. But again, I just want to mention another moment of censorship where
Oh no, you caught me.
basically this car stops, but when the car in the original game stops, you see people shooting out the window with like Uzis at the cops. And you could actually like get in the way of the gunfire, and like I think you could get hit too.
Deliver. Pick up. Drive. Deliver.
But yeah, they changed it to a driverless car, which is kind of interesting. Let's try to get this combo. Nope. Hopefully I have enough air. I do not have enough air. I may have to come back to this. What else can I do here? I guess I go for the... Let's try to get the high score.
Your lanes are not tied.
But I guess if I'm to talk about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 is a game that I found awfully frustrating, but it's a game I had to learn how to play.
Recharge.
My friend had to tell me that, you know, like, it's a game that really is like a real life old time night simulator where you needed to train in order to get your combat going. It's a game that you can't just rush into and expect to advance through the story. It's a game that you have to like live in the world and get your skills up and start to, and you know, you have little money, you're starting from nothing in the first game. The second game, you have so much skills, but something happens to you in the very beginning of the game that kind of like, it's like a setback, which is a very clever way that they do it. And it's cool too because they had like these like, you're sitting around like a campfire in the beginning of the game and you're telling stories that you get to choose which story you want to tell, and based on what story you want to tell, that will help boost your skills. So when they basically strip you of your skills based on something that happens in the game, the skills in those particular categories, like swordsmanship or I don't know, dialogue, like your dialogue skill or whatever, like you can, like it would give you a little bit of a boost in those skills even when you took it away. It was kind of a clever way they did it. But anyway, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is the most immersive role-playing game I've ever played in my life. I've never played a game that had so many choices and so many ways to go about telling the story. And it being done in a way that no matter which way you choose or how you go about it, the story makes sense on a thematic level, on a narrative level. There is no, you know, me being a completionist, there is no seeing the entire game on one go. Even if you try to like get all the missions done or the side missions, all the random missions, I will never see every single outcome of how this game plays out ever in my life, because it's that deep in its choices, the amount of choices it gives you, the amount of branching paths there are, the way you can just go about things, like the way you can build your main character Henry. It is one of the most insane games I've ever played. And it's not, when you play Ghost of Yotei and you're in the world of a samurai, it's very immersive and good, but the story is kind of like, it's good. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, its story is like, I'll never forget it in terms of like, it is, think of like, the greatest TV show, serialized show you've seen. This is like what that is in a video game for me. Death Stranding 2 is also that for me, in terms of its story, in terms of how it's telling its story. But what's kind of impressive about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is that because there's so many ways you can go about the story, it's impressive that they are able to keep the story so engaging no matter which way you can play. I played this along with two other friends who were playing, and we had like a spoiler cast when I was playing my Chivalry 2 stream. And we all had different experiences of how we played the game. And it was so much fun, like hearing like how, if I did that instead of that, I could have got that later on, or something like this could have happened for me, or you could have. There's a point in the game midway where you can completely end the game right there if you made a certain choice, and I didn't know that, but apparently that's a thing you can do, and the game would have ended. The credits would have rolled. And that was like midway through the game where literally you would have had to spend like another 100 hours in order to get to that point. It really is. They improve on everything. They improve on the combat was very rigid in the first game intentionally, because like it's supposed to be kind of like someone who has no experience in combat or anything becoming a knight or whatever. And this game, you're a little bit better with your combat, but even with the combat, with the way the combat is, which is very unique in how you like swing your sword and everything, it's definitely much more streamlined and much more user friendly. Still very unique. Like it doesn't shy away from how it I guess like the gameplay mechanics that it commits to and the control schemes that it commits to, but which is I think that speaks to a lot of its the integrity of the game, that they didn't like try to like make it like a mass universal appeal for newcomers. I like that, but it plays much more easily than the first game did, which I like. They took a lot of that like what they call like Euro jank out of the game. Out of the first game, and it's just such a more impressive game. To me, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is what Red Dead Redemption 2 is for like an old time Western. But with this, it's medieval, middle-aged Bohemia. By the way, there's a secret skateboard right here that I have not got yet, so let's get it. I think I have to go this way. There we go. Hidden back. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is another game that made me cry just as much as it made me laugh. The story is the characters are so engaging. The cast just as great as Death Stranding 2. What are my goals here? Airwalk over this Yellowstone shack. Let's do that.
Ready to shoot.
That wasn't that.
Try this again, please. How about that?
You said it, LOL.
How about that smoke? Did you see that?
Oh, airwalk is okay. I got it. There.
Didn't know. Show me your stuff.
Like I said, I think Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, even though I never played Expedition 33, I don't think it should have won RPG of the year. Even though I didn't play Expedition 33, it's just like I know that yes, there's some RPG mechanics for Expedition 33, but there's no way that it's on the same level as KCD 2 at all. have to find the E. I mean, it's a turn-based RPG. That's the thing, yeah. Which is fine, you know. I have no problem with Clair Obscura winning Game of the Year, but I think, like,
Next, we'll head over to the movie.
I think many people would agree that the KCD2 is just such a deeper game in terms of being an RPG, and such a more impressive game in terms of an RPG. Again, I haven't played Expedition 33, but I feel it in my bones that it's just not like that. It just kind of like won the category because it was just sweeping. So it was just like, yeah, let's just keep going with it, with whoever was on the voting committee, which is a lot of, like, you know, games media people. So yeah, I could see that. But yeah, you know, the thing is between Death Stranding 2 and KCD2. KCD2 is a game I'm completely new to. I had a lot of fun experiencing that game through my friends because they were playing it along with me, and it was just such an important game to play that was a little outside my wheelhouse than usual. What was I gonna say? I gotta find the skate letters. Hold on.
Hey!
Whereas Death Stranding 2 is a game that I'm the only one I know who's played it. Like, none of my friends have played that game. But it's a game that really spoke to me, like, on an emotional level. Probably more in a more engaging way than KCD2 did. But that's just because I like the weirdness of what Hideo Kojima brings to the table, as opposed to, I'm not really, like, you know, I'm not like the biggest medieval guy, but I have to say, if I was the biggest medieval guy, KCD2 is where it's at, and KCD2 is where I would, to me, it would be the definitive experience in order to experience, like, an open world medieval type of game. So I did get the skate letters, right? Okay, cool. Let's try to see if I get this combo. Nope. Don't think I can get this combo yet. I should be able to, though. Let's see. No. Let's see if I can get this combo if I go backwards. So I think my stats aren't too good right now. Let's see. Oh, nope, that didn't work. All right, let's try to do high score here. Like, I like the music so much, like a lot in Death Stranding 2. A lot of his licensed music, of course. But I have to say the music in KCD2 for what the score is actually really very memorable and a soundtrack that I found myself listening to on YouTube, that it's still that good. At the same time, it is just medieval. It is like the medieval, like what you expect from a medieval game, but like it really is good. Whereas Death Stranding 2 had licensed music that like shocked me. Both games, their stories are masterpieces, and they did things that were so beyond and so out of this world for me, and engaging, and it was done so well, and the directing was done so well on each. The writing is so good on each. Top tier. Like I said, the cast is great. Are you going to decide? Sorry, I'm kind of like rambling. I'm trying to get through this Los Angeles here. I guess I'll go for the high score for now, because I don't think I can get that combo yet. But I have to say, Death Stranding 2 is a game I platinumed, whereas Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is a game I have not platinumed.
Vampires. Werewolves.
And God, they both offer such unique experiences. And gameplay loops that I found addicting. But you know, like, honestly, like, not last year, 2 years ago, in 2023, like, I remember the last two that it came down to was Hogwarts Legacy or Spider-Man 2. And I ended up choosing Hogwarts Legacy, and I thought, I remember having a lot of, like, good reasons as to why I chose it. Whereas this, I have so many good reasons for both, and really no flaws between the two. There's not like one little hanging chad to my decision here that would make this decision easier for me. But I have to say the jump between KCD1 and KCD2 is enormous. And because it's a new type of game for me, being like a very in-depth open world RPG, compared to Death Stranding 2, where it is the same game I am used to in Death Stranding 1, but a much more improved, and a much more improved, like much more. Death Stranding 2's jump from 1 to 2 is a bigger jump for me than Ghost of Yotei is from Ghost of Tsushima. And God, I just love that gameplay loop of just building bridges. It really was such a great podcast game, whereas KCD2 is a game I wouldn't put a podcast on unless I was really like, I guess if I was like trying to get like my horse stats up or something by like riding around and grinding, but there wasn't much of that at all. Even though there was skills for your horse or like doing archery contest or whatever where I could put a podcast on, sure, but it wasn't really like a grind. Whereas Death Stranding 2, there was more of a grind to it, but I enjoyed it. In terms of the 100% completion. I gotta say though, KCD2, the world is just so. I've never thought that there would be a game where it would be so fleshed out to the point where it's like on a Rockstar level, like a GTA or a Red Dead. That's what it feels like in first person mode in this middle age Bohemia game, where like I remember I got to like a city and it was so bustling, full of people, full of life. And you could do anything you want to these people. And you can do... There's so much... Like, you can break into people's houses, and if you haven't showered in a couple of days, the person might wake up or smell you. Or if you're talking to somebody and you're trying to, like, impress them or trying to convince them to do something for you, and, like, you haven't... And you haven't cleaned yourself properly, that hurts. That like docks points against you and stuff. Like that's so. I know it's not the first game to do stuff like that, but my God, KCD2 does it so well. And so, to me, it's like the gold standard that other games are going to have to like learn from. You know, you think of like Fallout or Skyrim or Oblivion or whatever. This is what those games are, but and from what I've heard, it really is something on another level. And for this to come from a studio that really, you know, they did KCD1, and now they're coming out with this sequel that's like incredible, like on a Rockstar level incredible. And there's no issues with it, and there's gonna probably be a third game, and like To me, like, it really is, like, novel. But Death Stranding 2 is so good. And the story is so out there and experimental and moving. But I gotta give it to one, right? So, if I had to, I think I'm gonna go with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 as my game of the year. Because it's doing something in a genre that I'm not even really a big fan of the genre in terms of like medieval stuff. Even though I've played Chivalry 2 and stuff, but like with TV shows and film, I don't really like dabble with I don't really dabble. I did roll the dice. I just said KCD 2. But I'm explaining. I'm trying to reinforce my decision at this point. For it to take a genre that I'm not that familiar with and I'm not that drawn to, and for it to have me from the very beginning to the end, and I'm like blown out of my seat with how great it is, and having fun with it, and wanting to go back to it, and especially what it did for, you know, like the culture around it, where like I had a lot of great discussions with friends about this game throughout this year. Whereas Death Stranding 2, because of how out there it is, I didn't have people to really kind of. I did actually no, that's not true. I did have a coworker who was playing it along with me, and I was talking about him with the game as we played. So there was a cultural water cooler thing to it. So we got Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I'm going with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 as my game of the year. I think it's a very and it's underrated too, I think. Not only is it like on a Rockstar level for me, but it's underrated. And it's so unique, and to me it's one of the greatest leaps of a sequel, I think. Death Stranding 2 is so close though. It could have easily been Death Stranding 2. But I gotta go with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, I think. It's a game that I didn't platinum, but it's a game that I don't think I want to platinum, but it's a game I want to play again. So I think that says something. So I think we're gonna end it here because this combo thing is gonna be an issue, I think. I think I have to like get my skills back up before I can do this. So we will come back to that next time. But I guess I'll rattle off my game of the years. I don't know if do I remember them all? Let's see if I remember them all off the top of my head. So 1995 is Twisted Metal. 1996 is Crash Bandicoot. 1997 is Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back. 1998 is Spyro the Dragon. 1999 is Crash Team Racing, right? Crash Team Racing? You said besides 2024. Wait, I'm kind of like blanking on my... Hold on. I just want to make sure it's not... It definitely has to be Crash Team Racing, right? Not Spyro 2. Yeah, it's Crash Team Racing. 2000 is Spyro Year of the Dragon. 2001 is Jak and Daxter, The Precursor Legacy. 2002 is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4. 2003 is The Simpsons Hit and Run. 2004 is Killzone. 2005 is Area 51. 2006 is Resistance Fall of Man. 2007 is God of War 2. 2008 is Resistance 2. 2009 is Uncharted 2 Among Thieves. 2010 is God of War 3. 2011 is Killzone 3. 2012 PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. 2013 The Last of Us. 2014 South Park The Stick of Truth. 2015 MLB 15 The Show. 2016 Uncharted 4 A Thief's End. 2017 Horizon Zero Dawn. 2018 God of War. 2019 Death Stranding. 2020 Ghost of Tsushima. 2021, by the way, 2020 Ghost of Tsushima, I think I have to change it to The Last of Us Part 2 after having played the game again. I'm making 2020 my Last of Us Part 2 going forward. I think it's without a doubt at this point. 2021 Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. 2022 God of War Ragnarok. 2023 Hogwarts Legacy. 2024 Astrobot. And 2025 Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. You're like laughing your ass off. Yeah, I could do that, right? I could change my game of the year in the middle of my roll call of all the game of the years I've done. I have to say, like, I think after playing The Last of Us Part 2 again on stream, I appreciate it so much more. And I've already played it. I've already replayed it before. But having talking it out, I don't think, unless I played Ghost of Tsushima, I don't know if I would get the same amount of like catharsis that I did with Last of Us Part 2 talking it out as compared to Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima is a fun-ass game. Great game for being an original game from Sucker Punch for 2020, but I don't know. Last of Us Part 2, I just love it the more I think about it. And especially now that the season 2 of the show exists, I love the game even more. And I'm thankful and grateful that Neil Druckmann actually knew how to write the game in the best way that it could have been. Whereas Craig Mazin, I think, has lost the plot with the show. So, oh yeah, it was Astrobot. 2024, yeah. 2024 was definitely Astrobot. I remember 2024 was it was either Astrobot or Helldivers 2, but I have to give it to Astrobot. Astrobot's another game that made me tear up towards the end and made me laugh at other points. You know, anything that can do that, where that emotional range is happening, that's great. And honestly, Ghost of Yotei, Death Stranding 2, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 all did that for me this year. But yeah, we'll leave it there. Christmas coming up. Hope you enjoy. I hope you have a very wonderful holiday. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah for anyone who's out there listening. And I think we'll be able to get another episode out before the new year. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. But I hope good things happen going forward for you, for me, for everyone. And we'll continue this soon. I had to wrap some presents, so. Alright, I guess we'll leave it there. Pulpit, it's been a pleasure. Anyone out there who wants to like, comment, or subscribe, you can subscribe to Kev Plays 9490 on YouTube, and or follow me on Twitter at Let's Watch Series. Other than that, stay safe, stay healthy, keep a clear head, and keep on gaming. And I'll catch you all next time. Peace out.